Hello, hello, a lovely good morning to you, our KBN family. It is indeed a lovely Wednesday morning. I am very excited about today because today is Women's Wednesday, Woman Crush Wednesday. Now, we're currently streaming live on our Facebook page as KBN TV. You can also catch us on Topstar channel 102. And this is the morning daylight breakfast show. I am your host, Sibongile Lombanya. Now, today is very exciting. We have a lot planned out for you. You do not want to miss the segments of today. Now, if you are commuting somewhere, if you are having a busy Wednesday, remember these are the times of COVID, so remember to mask up, remember to observe social distancing, also sanitize at all times because COVID-19 is real and you do not want to catch that corona. Right about now, our first segment, of course, how do you start your morning? We start our morning with the word of the day. Now today, the word of today, we are going to be looking at Luke 17 verse 1. But before we go into that, just to explain a few things, you know how every day we come across different people. It can be either people that you know, different people that you have known for a long time, and people that may tend to offend you. It could be at a place of work, it could be even in your homes, and most of the people that offend you are those people that are closer to you. And how do you handle that situation? Many a times that it is very easy to get offended by either what somebody has said to you, or it could be even just doing something simple towards you, but you might misunderstand it and take it as offense. So today we will be looking at Luke 17 verse 1 to 4, and it reads, then he said unto the disciples, it is impossible, but offenses will come. Now, but woe unto him through whom they come. Now we look at verse 2, Luke 17 verse 1. It says, verse 1 to 2, it says, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about the neck, and he cast into the sea, than that he should offend one of those little ones. Now remember, I'm using KJV. So it also says, take heed to yourselves. If thy brother trespasses against thee, rebuke him. And if he repents, forgive him. And if he trespasses against thee 7 times in a day, and 7 times in a day turn again to thee, saying, I repent, thou shalt forgive him. Now we will read that we'll read that one more time, but right about now I'll just explain what Luke 17 verse 1 means. Now, as a believer, it is very easy to come across offenses. Even the Bible says offense will surely come. There are people who will offend you and you tend to get upset and you feel there's no need to forgive them. Now remember how Christ forgave us for our sins, and we are believers. We are those that believe in Christ. We become one with the Spirit, meaning he is always with us. And if Christ forgives our sin, if Christ forgave our sins and he is in us, meaning we are able to forgive others as well. No matter how people may offend you, it could be in a case that someone has accused you of doing something that you haven't done, or basically just offending you in a certain way. So if somebody has accused you of something you haven't done, you know what you do? One thing I learned is that you go to the person who has offended you. Sometimes that person wouldn't be the bigger person to say, forgive me for what I've done, I'm really sorry, I offended you. No, it is in rare cases. It's rare that people may do that. So what you do in that situation is you approach the person and say, I took offense I took offense from what you said to me or what you have done to me, and I'm sorry I took offense, but I forgive you. And that's how you just, this, the nature of God is of love and forgiveness. So if we are believers, this is not something that is hard for us to do. It is natural, because we are supernatural beings. We have the Spirit of God in us. So supernatural things are natural to us. It is very normal to give, no matter how painful it can be. It is very hard. It is very hard, and it is very painful. But we are believers, and all we have to do is just forgive, and it may be hard to forget, but just forgive, and yeah, just move on. Because I mean, even um in as much as we try not to forgive someone, you even say, this person, I would definitely not forgive this person, or this person will see the next time they do something like that. That is not our nature. That is not our nature, and that is not how a believer ought to behave. We are forgiving human beings, and whatever offenses that you come through, whatever offenses that you come across, just forgive and forget, because we have the nature of God. Now remember, offense will surely come. Even the Bible says that. Luke 17 verse 1. Offense will surely come. Now that's all we had for our day of the word. And feel free to be interactive. This is the Morning Daylight Breakfast Show. Tell us where you're watching us from. Feel free to also share with us what you're having for breakfast. Are you having some tea, or you're a juice person like me, no matter how cold it may turn out to be? So we will take a short break. When we get back, we'll get into our current affairs segment. Stay tuned to the Finest Television. Okay, good morning and welcome back to the Morning Daylight Breakfast Show. If you're just joining us, well, you've joined us on quite a good note, but you missed the first segment, which was the day of the word of the day. Now, right about now, we take a look at our current affairs segment. We just catch up on what has been going on in our country, Zambia. There's a lot that has been going on, and looking at the fact that this is an election year, and August 12th we will be having elections very soon. So feel free to be interactive and tell us where you're watching us from. Also feel free to comment on the stories that we will be bringing forward to you. Now remember, today is Woman Crush Wednesday. We will be looking at that woman or those women, because this is the Women's Month. I mean, we cannot just look at that one woman, but we will be looking at those women who inspire us a lot, and those women we look forward to being alike when we grow up, and those women who will who are inspiring our young generation of today. Now, right about now, we take a look at the headlines, and we had Joseph Akafumba led NDC to challenge Dr. Kambwili's camp planned general conference. Now, we also had Mouse Sampa elated with the progress made in garbage collection, and the chiefs reminded to be neutral ahead of August pause, and ECZ challenged to explain the nomination fees for the differently abled. So those are the headlines that we had. We take a look at our first story, and it says Joseph Akafumba-led National Democratic Party says it will challenge the planned general conference to be spearheaded by Chishimba Kambwili camp. Now, speaking during a media briefing yesterday, Mr. Akafumba disclosed that the current provincial elections ongoing countrywide are unconstitutional, hence will not be recognized because official members are not present at the elections. Now we're listening to what Mr. Joseph Akafumba had to say about this particular story.
Dr. Kambwili is attributed do not exist. Guy Scott is a Muslim, but of course 100% pure Zambian, and that is the way it goes. Zambians must reject tribalists and call them off. We have gone over that. Today, here when we were seated with my colleagues, there were 6 members who are from Northern Province. I was the only lost myself.
Even now,
even today,
even as you said,
there are more people from. So the tribal part does not stand. In my home, I have nephews who are Muvanga, Mulenga. How can I discriminate against the member? My children are half Lozi, half Eastern Province. So how do I discriminate? We can't be taken back with them. So Dr. Kambwili's remarks, I think he has failed to grow out of this, and we have refused. What we have refused ourselves is this notion of CK is PF.
Okay, and that was Mr. Joseph Akafumba, who says that the National Democratic Party will challenge the planned general conference to be spearheaded by Chishimba Kambwili camp. Now, feel free to comment on that story. You can text us on the number scrolling on your screen. You can also text us and drop a comment on our comment section on our Facebook page, because we're currently streaming live there. Now, meanwhile, Mr. Akafumba has welcomed the United Party for National Development's decision to appoint Dr. Guy Scott to the National Management Committee, saying such is a sign that the UPND leader is not a tribal person. Now, Mr. Akafumba alleges that Dr. Scott has been abandoned and mistreated by the current PF leadership. Therefore, the need for UPND to embrace him. We're listening to what he had to say about this particular story.
Us want NDC to be a political party owned by members, where even the president is a member, and any member of the NDC can call the president to order. Not everything that the president says goes. That's why we have refused, and that has been our departure point. He took us there, and we have remained there, and we will remain there. Our task now is to ensure that come 12th August 2021, we'll be looking at our time as we escort.
Okay, and in other stories, we have Lusaka City Mayor Mouse Sampa says he is impressed with the progress made in cleaning up the CBD. Now, he says there is need to motivate the workers and check on companies that are getting free money instead of collecting garbage. Now, our staffer Womba has more in the following report.
After 40 days and 40 nights away, the Lusaka mayor, Mouse Sampa, was disappointed to find a heap of garbage littered around the central business district. He has, however, dedicated 7 days to ensure Lusaka City Council workers in charge of collecting garbage do their job. He is overwhelmed with the progress made in cleaning up the capital city.
Yeah, it's now 4th day. Remember, I gave myself 7 days I was there last night and inspecting. I'm seeing some progress. Me together with the council employees, I'm spending time. You saw me motivating them. I bought them Hungry Lion. I give them to my allowance to motivate them. It's not easy to do the garbage job. Yesterday I was driving the truck just to experience what the truck drivers for the garbage go through. The truck is heavy, and even to pick up the garbage it's heavy, and some of it is mixed with bottles, so it's not a pleasant job. So the first point is to motivate them. But that said, together now, I was looking last night, I'm impressed with the progress so far in that operation moonlighting, or operation night rider. Is bearing fruits. The heaps that were there for months or days have gone. If you go in Freedom Way now and remember, you'll see there's only little garbage which was thrown yesterday or today.
The mayor is, however, disappointed with some companies who are not doing their job in collecting garbage.
They pay companies which were subcontracted by the council, like this other company, HW, and that company just says, my job is to pick up from the shop, and that's it. What's outside the shop is none of my business. We need to look at their contract. Maybe the contract, we should say, your job is in the road in front of the shops. So pick up money from shop owners, but no garbage outside. So shop owners should take their garbage and throw it outside and in the bins, and then the shop, these companies pick up the garbage. At the moment they go inside and just pick up, even if there is a garbage outside the shop, they say it's none of my business.
He says the exercise will continue even after the 7 days.
After 7 days, if it has to continue, is to monitoring, motivate the workers, and inspect all these companies and whip them. Whip them is to reprimand them and not to treat them with kids' gloves. Garbage is, we have to be firm. Remember last time it took soldiers. Now I've appointed myself as the soldier of garbage. I was even telling the council police to join me. They are busy whipping people and closing bars, getting the beers from poor people, bar owners. I'm telling them to stop and join us to collect garbage.
Wamba Kasela for KBN News.
Okay, and that was a report done by our staffer, Wamba Kasela. And the Lusaka Mayor, Miles Sampa, is impressed with the progress done, with the progress made in cleaning the CBD. Now, to comment on that story, you can feel free to be interactive. Text us on the number scrolling on your screen. You can also drop a comment on our Facebook page on our comments section. Now, remember, this is the Morning Daylight Breakfast Show. Also, tell us where you're watching us from and share with us what you're having for breakfast. Are you having some hot tea, or you're a juice person like me? Now, in our next story, we have a development activist, Lewis Mwape, has urged chiefs across the country to be neutral and not to involve themselves in partisan politics. Now, he notes with concern that chiefs are parents in every chiefdom, and their role to counsel citizens, especially politicians, whenever they go astray remains key. Thus, the need for them not to indulge themselves in partisan politics. Now, Mr. Mwape further explained that it is wrong for the chiefs to endorse political leaders both from the ruling and opposition political parties. Now, we listen into what Mr. Lewis Mwape had to say about this particular story.
Most of our countries are under the custodian of our Royal Highnesses. I think it will be very, very important for our chiefs to be impartial in terms of treating all political actors at every level. Those councillors that are standing there in the wards within their chiefdoms from all the political parties, they may need to be honored, they may need to be they may need to ensure that they are fair in terms of treating all the political actors. At the top level, all the presidents, I think, must be also be treated equally. We have seen chiefs endorsing certain candidates, whether from opposition or from the ruling party. It will be fair for chiefs to ensure that they remain neutral, just like the church leaders. Because if this is not done, we don't know who will be the president tomorrow, because we are going to an election, and an election is about competition, and competition is about uh, a winner not yet decided upon. So chiefs must hold their peace and ensure that they provide an opportunity to all the political actors, to all the presidents that will be contested.
Okay, and that is a development activist, and his name is Lewis Mwape, who has urged chiefs not to involve themselves in parties and politics. Now, to comment on that story, feel free to drop a comment on our Facebook page. You can also text us on the number scrolling on your screen. Now, an organization called Born Short Living Tall is concerned that the nomination fees that the Electoral Commission of Zambia do not specifically state the reduction that differently abled presidential candidates and members of parliament will be able to pay ahead of the forthcoming August 12th general elections. Now, recently, the Electoral Commission of Zambia indicated the reduced nomination fees for political candidates who want to participate in this year's elections, in which presidential male candidates will now pay 95,000 kwacha from 100,000 kwacha, while female candidates will pay 75,000 kwacha from 80,000 kwacha. Others are female parliamentary candidates to pay 13,500 kwacha from 15,000, while men will pay 15,000 from 20,000 kwacha. And the organization executive director Ntala Sachisha has asked the Electoral Commission of Zambia to clearly state if there was an omission on the part of differently abled people nomination fee. Now, he also says, considering the high cost of living and the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, all electoral stakeholders, including the ECZ and the international community, presidential treatments should be to the differently abled people. Now we listen in to what Mr. Ntalasa Chisha had to say about this particular story.
PSLT is concerned that the nomination fees that have been reduced by the Electoral Commission of Zambia do not specifically state the reduction that differently abled presidential candidates and members of parliament will be able to pay ahead of the forthcoming August 12 general elections. We have observed that the media reports were silent on the plight of the differently abled. We are therefore asking the Electoral Commission of Zambia to clearly state if there was an omission or that is the case. Considering the high cost of living standards and the effects of the COVID-19 on our economy, we wish to urge all electoral stakeholders, including the Electoral Commission of Zambia, government, political parties, civil society organizations, and the international community to show preferential treatment to people who are differently abled. It is important to state here that people who are differently able do not enjoy the same access to society on an equal basis with others.
Remember to be interactive. The number is scrolling on your screen. Feel free to drop a comment on our comments section, also on our Facebook page. We're currently streaming live there. Now, in other stories, a humanitarian organization called Families and Nations is saddened by the recent story in which a 40-year-old man of Kaoma district allegedly murdered his mother in cold blood for unknown reasons. Now, police spokesperson Esther Mwata Katongo recently confirmed that Sarah Munkomwe, 59, was murdered by his biological son, identified as Kennedy Molea. Now, speaking to KBN TV in a phone interview, Organization Executive Director Judith Muller says such a development makes a sad reading as it is clearly showing that there is a breakdown of effective communication among the families. Now, she notes that there is need to strengthen the mental aspects of human beings to avoid future occurrences. We listen into what Judith Muller had to say about this particular story.
There is information circulating on social media indicating that the Minister of Home Affairs called for resubmission of application letters to the Zambia Police Service by those wishing to be employed as constables. We wish to state that such claims are false and are being championed by criminals whose motive is to steal from unsuspecting members of the public. We therefore advise the general public to ignore such false notices, as the applications already submitted by applicants are still valid. Furthermore, there is another scheme by criminals who are sending messages to members of the public, introducing themselves as police officers and also as officers from the RTSA.
Okay, the Zambia Police Service has refuted information circulating on social media suggesting that Home Affairs Minister Stephen Kampyongo called for the resubmission of application letters to Zambia Police by those wishing to be employed as constables. Now, police spokesperson Esther Mwatakatongo disclosed that such claims are false and that they are being championed by criminals who want to find a way of stealing from members of the public. Now, she has therefore advised the general public to ignore such false notices, stating that the applications already submitted by applicants are still valid. And Mrs. Katongo notes that there are also criminals who are sending messages to unsuspected members of the public, introducing themselves as police officers or RATSA officers, requesting people to send money through mobile money contacts. She says this is also another strategy by criminals with a view of swindling the general public. She has since called on members of the public to be security conscious and always verify information with the relevant authorities before making any transaction so as to avoid being deceived by fraudsters. We listen into what Esther Mwatakatongo had to say about this particular story.
There is information circulating on social media indicating that the Minister of Home Affairs called for resubmission of application letters to the Zambia Police Service by those wishing to be employed as constables. We wish to state that such claims are false and are being championed by criminals whose motive is to steal from unsuspecting members of the public. We therefore advise the general public to ignore such false notices, as the applications already submitted by applicants are still valid. Furthermore, there is another scheme by criminals who are sending messages to members of the public, introducing themselves as police officers and also as officers from the RTSA, and they are requesting people to send money through mobile money contacts, which they are providing on claims that they infringed on road traffic rules. They infringed road traffic rules and regulations. This is also another strategy by these criminals with a view of swindling members of the public. We therefore call upon people to take note that at the moment, the Zambia Police and also the RTSA do not use mobile money services to collect admission of guilt fines from traffic offenders. We therefore appeal to members of the public to be security conscious and should also verify information with relevant authorities before making any transactions for them to avoid being deceived by these fraudsters.
Okay, and that was the police spokesperson, Esther Mwata Katongo. Remember, feel free to be interactive. Drop a comment on our comment section on our Facebook page. You can also text us on the number scrolling on your screens. Now, in our next story, we have Mwandi Member of Parliament, Osen Mutaba, and 4 others that included Council Chairman were yesterday acquitted or found with no case to answer. Now, the lawmaker was appearing before Magistrate Piri and was charged with the offense of assault occasioning actual bodily harm contrary to Section 248 of the Penal Code. And rendering his ruling this yesterday morning in full-packed Sesheke courtroom, Magistrate Piri said that prosecution had failed to prove the allegations. He said most witnesses' evidence on stand contradicted and so I beg your pardon. He said most witnesses' evidence stand on contradicting each other. Now, speaking shortly after the court case, Mwandi District UPND Chairperson Kelvin Kekelwa expressed happiness, stating that now the party can now focus on mobilizing themselves ahead of the August polls. Meanwhile, the lawmaker and his lawyer thanked the courts for the ruling. We listen into what Mr. Cornelius Mucha had to say about this particular story.
And we've just come out of court, where of course the court has acquitted Honorable Mutaba and the council chairperson for Mwandi in a case of Honorable Osen Mutaba and 4 others where they were accused of assaulting another. The court has found them with no case to answer, and so I think that this matter now has been put to rest, and you can go about your freedom and to do.
For acquitting us, this shows that we were innocent from the beginning, like we've been maintaining. And the second issue, we would like to thank people that have been coming with us from Mwandi to show solidarity to our innocence.
At least we are happy now that the case that was pending against the MP, the mayor and the 3 others, the case has been, they have been acquitted. So we are happy. Now we are going back to the constituency, Mwandi constituency, to unite the party so that come 2021 we are ready to deliver Mwandi for UPND and HH.
Okay, remember to be interactive. Text us on the number scrolling on your screen. You can also drop a comment on our comment section on our Facebook page. We're currently streaming live there. Remember, this is the Morning Daylight Breakfast Show. I'm here to lighten up your day, and today is Women Crush Wednesday. We will be looking at the people, the women, our mothers, the women that are inspiring, the women that we look up to, the women that we would want to be like when we grow up. So you do not want to miss that. Now, before we go into our next segment, we have one last story, and we have Detective Inspector Robinson Kalonde. Robinson Kalonde has told the Lusaka Magistrate Court that Information and Broadcasting Services Minister Dora Celia lodged a complaint on the 2nd of June 2020 that Cornelius Muita, popularly known as Chela Tukuta, had published defamatory words against her on Facebook. Now, this is in a case in which Tukuta, a photographer, has been charged with 1 count of libel. When the matter came before Chief Resident Magistrate Lamek Mwale for continued trial, the arresting officer, Inspector Kalonde, testified that in the alleged video on Facebook, Tukuta allegedly accused the minister of selling girls to high-profile men for sex. Now, the witness testified that the accused went further to say that Miss Celia was actually the highest of the highest prostitutes. Now, he said he investigated the matter and later arrested the accused for the subjective offense. This is in a matter in which Chela Tukuta, 34, is charged with criminal libel after he published defamatory matter affecting Miss Celia in form of a video on Facebook that Miss Celia is a pimp and hooks up girls for high-profile people like ministers and permanent secretaries, but the accused pleaded not guilty to the charge. Now that's all we had on our current affairs segment. We will take a short break. Remember to be interactive, and you do not want to miss the next segment. Stay tuned to the Finest Television. Okay, good morning and welcome back. If you're just joining us, well, this is the Morning Daylight Breakfast Show. You have missed the current affairs segment and also the word of the day. We're currently streaming live on our Facebook page. You can also catch us on Topstar channel 102. Now, this is the Morning Daylight Breakfast Show, and remember to be interactive. Remember to tell us where you're watching us from. Also, feel free to share with us what you're having for breakfast. Are you a tea person or you're a juice person like me, no matter how cold it may turn to be? Now remember, these are the times of COVID. If you're commuting somewhere, remember to mask up and sanitize at all times. Now, right about now, it is a morning breakfast show. We will be looking at a cooking clip by our very own chef Salma, who will be just sharing with us a quick meal, a very tasty meal, some rice with chicken curry, and you know, when she's in the kitchen she just delivers, and that's what she's best at. But before we go into that, I will be sharing with you just one thing that you have to do in the morning just to keep healthy. Today I'll be sharing with you how to make a banana puree. Now this is something that's very easy to do. It's very easy, and it cannot even take you more than 5 minutes, unless you want the bananas to be very much crushed. Now in a case of that you do not have a blender, you can just take, it depends on how much of the banana puree you want. Try this every morning if possible. Now you can get some let's say 2 bananas for someone who doesn't like much fruits, but you need fruits in your body. I mean, we need to stay healthy. 2 bananas, smash them. If you do not have a blender, just smash them until they become smooth. You can use a cooking stick. It's very easy to do. And also just add some milk, and there you have it, your banana puree. Just feel free, when you try that, feel free to comment and tell me how you think it tastes like. It is very tasty, and I'm sure you will testify to that. So right about now we will get into our cooking segment. Stay tuned to the Finest Television. You do not want to miss this segment where Salma had to teach us a few things on how to make some rice and chicken curry. Stay tuned to the Finest Television.
And the curry and my oil and salt to taste and pepper, and for the flavor I have my ginger garlic paste. So to start with, since we're making the vegetable steamed rice with the chicken curry, I'll start with my rice. I have to get it start cooking so that so I have my boiling water here. I'll add about 1.5 tablespoons cooking oil and a teaspoon of salt to taste. So I'm using basmati rice here. Normally I used to rinse it. No need. Okay. So I'll leave my rice here to simmer up and cook while I start my interesting part, the chicken curry. Okay. So I'll start by cutting my onions. So we want really tiny cubes from these onions. Okay. Might be thinking what to make for this weekend. Yeah. In the kitchen with Sama, got your back. Take note of this very delicious recipe. Cook it and enjoy with your family. So I'm getting my cubes. Okay. Now I want to get half of our onion. Take these. Set them aside with my ginger garlic. I'll get my oil. And start this. We want our onion to be golden brown. So to this, I'll add my ginger garlic paste for a very lovely flavor. And also, it's our herb for today. So while this is getting golden brown, I have my water boiling here while I'll toss in my vegetables. Remember, we are making a vegetable steamed rice. That's my peas. You can have vegetables of your choice. So I have my peas in there, and I'll add in carrot. So we want to get our cubes from this carrot. Okay. Easy. I have one carrot done. Taking your onion, taking together. Really nice and easy. So I want to go into chicken, but it's golden brown. So as you can see, our onion is now golden brown. It has very lovely ginger garlic flavor from it. So In here, I'll add my chicken pieces. These are actually my favorite part. You can get any part of the pot. Okay. Today, I'll add some pork pieces. You want the flavor in your chicken. So to this, I'll add simple tomato. So to my chicken right now, I'll add in my curry powder. This is my pepper. Coriander. And my chicken masala. Mix it. So to see that it's chicken, just sprinkle some water. So from the vegetables, I'm adding my carrot. And let that simmer. Let's give some time and take our tomatoes. Ready. So we want the juicy part of our tomatoes. I'll have this grated, or you can have them blended, whichever is convenient for you. Take that out. Okay. Here's my tomatoes, and chicken. I'll add the rest of my masala, my chicken curry, with my chicken potato, spring onion, and my pepper. So before we stir all together, I'll add in my tomatoes. Give this a mix. So to this you can add any vegetable of your choice, and I'm adding some potatoes to mine. So I have like 2 potatoes cut into pieces. Yes. That's my first potato. Medium sized potato. Okay. Just cut in there. Remember, we want to allow this to simmer for the potatoes to cook. So before we add in our water, I'll cover this to let it simmer. So my rice is getting together. It's almost done. I'll give it a stir. Okay. Our chicken is savory. So my chicken, I'll add in some natural yogurt. Okay. You want to give this a stir so that it doesn't stick. Smells really wonderful. This is, I can't wait to test this. So I'll add in a little bit of water. Remember, we want the potatoes to cook. We'll cover this so that it can continue to simmer. So now our vegetables are done. We don't want them to overcook. Just drain them. Yeah, give it a drain. As our rice is getting together. Right, so this little pot of mine, I'll add about 2 tablespoons oil. Now cut this in cubes. We'll take that off. We don't need it. Okay. So I'm going to cut my pepper this way. Just need about a quarter. Our recipe is nice, quick and easy. So take our pepper into our pot. I'll add some salt to this. I want to give this a stir. Now we add our vegetables. Give it some pepper. And give this a stir. So this is the best part. That is our vegetable steamed rice. Our rice is ready. I'm getting my veggies and I'll toss them in the rice. Okay. And I'll mix this together. Okay. Before I'm even done, it looks amazing. So you can use any rice of your choice. And this is my favorite. So while waiting for our chicken curry to simmer and get ready, let's allow our rice to simmer a little bit. Just like 10 minutes and it will be done and ready. So this is how far we're going with our chicken curry. So to add some color and flavor to it, add in my black pepper. Okay. I usually put my peppers at the end, almost concluding, to have that flavor. So we toast this and then curry. So just to check how far we've gone. Alright, so they're almost done. Okay. So we'll allow it to simmer until our potatoes are completely done. Okay, alright. This is what we wanted from our chicken curry. We can see our gravy has taken up and our potatoes are ready. So is our chicken. Everything is done in here. Alhamdulillah, really nice. I don't want to miss out this lovely aroma from this. Wow, I can't wait. So we'll take this out our stove and our rice. Wow. So here comes the most interesting part. Dishing out and eating. They say people found in the kitchen usually love to eat. I think I'm one of them. I love eating. I can't wait to test this. So okay. Lovely. My favorite. So, most of us are usually home because of Corona. So, we want to spend time home. Time and just enjoy such a meal. So, I'll sprinkle with some dry herbs. Okay, and the meal is ready. All right, so nice and easy from wherever you are. Inshallah, try out this lovely recipe from in the kitchen with Salma. Okay, yeah.
Okay, and that was a lovely meal. Busy making me hungry here. I hope you enjoyed the whole process of how to prepare that lovely meal. Just some simple rice and some chicken curry, and that was Salma who was running us through the whole process. I hope you will try it at home so that you can, have that lovely meal. Now, let's talk about fitness. Let's talk about fitness because you have to eat healthy and also you have to keep fit. We have to be fit enough to you know run through our day. So how do you start up your day? How do you tell us what exercising techniques you use, how you exercise? Do you run every day? Now, speaking of fitness, I always emphasize on at least exercising 3 times a week. 3 times a week at least, to be very active and to avoid sometimes if you're not healthy, it is not about how sometimes it's not about how watching your diet. Sometimes it could be because you are not exercising at all, just to avoid maybe uh, being obese in the future. At least exercise regularly 3 times a week. Ensure that you run even every morning. If you can't manage every morning, there are people rushing for work, there are people rushing for businesses, there are people rushing for business meetings. People want to catch up with what's happening, um, and make life happen. So if you are that busy person, you can always do that even after work, no matter how tired you can be, at least 3 times a week. At least it also tries to ease up your stress. If you are stressed, just try to if you're stressed, try to uh, run for even an hour every day after work, every 3 days after work in a week. You can do it every day, you can do it 3 times in a week. That's okay as well. We need to keep healthy. We need to fight any simple diseases that might come through if we do not exercise. Now, I hope you enjoyed that clip, and remember to be interactive. We will be taking a look at the people who came through our Facebook page and also the people that were being interactive on our Facebook page, also the people that have been interactive on the numbers scrolling down your screen. Feel free to text us and tell us where you're watching us from. Feel free to tell us what you're having for breakfast as well. Are you a tea person or a juice person like me, no matter how cold it can be? I hope you're a tea person, because you might get free eczema just by feeling cold and being cold in the body. So we will take a short break. When we come back, we'll take a look at the stories that are trending on social media. We get to see some updates on what's going on social media. There's a lot that's going on. There's a lot of deaths that are happening. There's a lot of people who are being depressed. There are people who are there's so many things that's just happening. So we'll take a short break. When we come back, I will be there to run you through what's trending on social media. Stay tuned to the Finest Television.
sembe nenze musogoleri wa kino kyalo sembe bantu bonse mziko basekeramu deidi kutyera kulibogona njala nibweza makuponi unga wa mahala sembe vintu vonse muno vimaflowa chipolopolo boys balekoluza bola tiziva vuto latu tisachite udalo imwe tikaleke kuchetekera kalo avena Zambia tikazichenjera tauni yovotayi kati yabwera tentisanke bantu bamene bayenera osakonka chabe ukwalolo mwera avena Zambia tikazichenjera tauni yovota na futi yabwera mukanivotera nizamisebenzera osaibala viva la vito sembe ine pano LV nenza mfumo sembe peta TV ni peta mafilmu na Mnet yonse sembe ni 3 sawa wonse vosauka vangalipira olomawa infact angati kulipa vosauka angati ibalansa kulipa vofauka sembe vonse vosiriza skulu vapeza ntchito so that apanapa ni vapolisi vakanso maticha na manesi masalari yavo kuyapanga best alipe ntchito kapito yakantemba tikagwirizana corruption izachepa avena Zambia tikazichenjera tauni yovotayi kati yabwera tentisanke bantu bamene bayenera osakonka chabe ukwalolo mwera avena Zambia tikazichenjera tauni yovota na futi yabwera mukanivotera nizamisebenzera osaibala viva la vito politician bena vamachita ova vamakampeni vamana maboza koma vakawina vammasoba tikavavotera valekuonekera ngachinivera vanatidoba vaona monga vakagula mova nichikwasira isetavota pati chino chaka vazachiona sembe mapatelo nivalesa kaso so that banchito vavo vakazibeulako eloboma na mastreet vendor sembe vagwirizana kuvutana valeka mastreet kids sembe valina kwawo sinifuna muntu kugona mumufolo sembe za pensheni sizivuta kufola kukala mumavuto ise manje kwatikola avena Zambia chenjera nthawi yovota ikati yabwera tentisake bantu bamene bayenera osakonka chabe ukwalolomwera abena Zambia mukazichenjera nthawi yovota na futi yabwera mukanivotera nizamisebenzera osaibala Viva la Vito!
K-Ani Music.
Alfa Romeo Israeli Ganati Jikale Kotondolo Nebo Ula Bilibuka no Kulanseka Ganati Tushe kwa manbo indebo Ula Bilibuka no Kulanjamba Bayawe Bayawe Pare, luire nkondo shandi nebo Bayawe, bayawe, yeah Pare, luire nkondo shandi nebo Pachanga uyamba posapota wa mapaka Pali boitie nao tizuje masaka Pali bene yaba pali bari una feki Bari ntila mistake bakuchae foseki Makamaka nga unachitako na achivu tuntu Wapanga kamula wambo chitako tuntu Votita fulu wankala diverse Majipi yali fulu noti daily mavets Nishibena bambo pemperela downfall Kichitila hudu na beba konja flow Mulungu wa magyalisira wantu mosiana No wandama yes na mazina tisiana Wazeti mumafuna tika chite bwanje Mumafuna paka tika imbe na minaji Aso ya muhudu nje ikali motivation Bwera pake ami nje pakali occupation Jikale kotondolo nebo Ula bilibuka no kulanseka Ganati tushe kwa manbo indebo Ula bilibuka no kulanjamba Bayawe, bayawe Pare, luire nkondo shandi indebo Bayawe, bayawe, yeah Pare, luire nkondo shandi indebo Nangalako chezi Mwamba kuponta, ati wanasila abo mwamba kusonta Simusiba mepi nili na ma reasons, nili na ma issues, muli ija season Mazo mwezo fina nimbo zanga Mweze lima best team, mweze panja yanga Muntu wakalema ama fanika vacation Pana wakula wafanika attention Nimbo na seve zifanika motivation Support ye mupasa nje ileta motivation Haso ni imbozi Wonse tipisha vaso sunga chite understanding ati siuzi wa game I'm still the same boy that killer beat rest Nikali wene uja we munakonda pa fest Haso ya muhudu nje ikali motivation Bwela pake ami nje pakali occupation Jikale kotondolo nebo Ula bilibuka no kulanseka Ganati tushe kwa manbo indebo Ula bilibuka no kulanjamba Bayawe, bayawe Pare, luire nkondo shandi indebo Bayawe, bayawe, yeah Pare, luire nkondo shandi indebo Hivi veni kamba vichoka pansi pa mutima
mtima pansi pa mutima wanga noti pali wina sinitendyaula nifuna chemuzive nifuna muzive kuti nabeve mazive tikagwirizana kulikonse tingafike tingachite inspire bambiri tingachite nonidziyo yetinga ndise bantu bamozi onani chena mpepo yetipema ni imozi. Big shout out kuli taiti wa moba, big shout out kuli Jimmy Yanasoba, rest in peace kuli Lolo na PJ, kuli Shiny banafa ma DJ.
Jikale kotondolo nebo ula pili buka no kulanseka nganati tushe kwa manimbo indebo ula pili buka no kulanjamba bayawe pare nuile nkondo shandi indebo bayawe pare nuile nkondo shandi indebo
Alpha Israeli. Here we go, that's another classic for y'all. I want us a big shout out to Rock City, Jerome B, Showstar, DJ Hussein, BC Weezy, VGZ. Y'all support music, you know? Good music. My little homeboy Big Busy, where you at? It's almost your time now, you know? Best bodies ever. Let's do this.
K-County Music.
K-County Classic, baby.
Good morning and welcome back to the Morning Daylight Breakfast Show. Right about now, I am joined by my co-host Rachel Mumba. Good morning, Rachel.
Good morning, Sable. Good morning, viewers.
I'm happy that you're here.
Yes,
updating us on the economic update in money
markets. Yes, and so for money market, this is just our foreign exchange rate. You know, we want to see how the kwacha is faring against other international currencies. So for the United States dollars is buying at 21 kwacha 77 ingwe, and selling at 22 kwacha 18 ingwe. The British pound is selling at 30 kwacha 20 ingwe. Buying at 30 kwacha 20 ingwe and selling at 30 kwacha 77 ingwe. The euro is selling at 25 kwacha 98 ingwe and is rather buying at 25 kwacha 98 ingwe and selling at 26 kwacha 48 ingwe. The South African rand is selling at 1 kwacha 40, is buying at 1 kwacha 46 ingwe and selling at 1 kwacha 49 ingwe, and that essentially means that the kwacha is still doing very, very bad. It is it's slowly losing its buying power.
Yes.
And I think this is quite detrimental, as you can see on our commodity prices. Everything has gone up.
Yeah.
Your cooking oil is is at 250 kwacha. Everything else is skyrocketing.
Just expensive.
Cost of living in Zambia has become extremely expensive, and you know, because the kwacha is faring pretty bad against all these international currencies, it means that everything goes up. And as you may well be aware, that Zambia we do not do a lot of export.
Yes.
We depend a lot on imports, and that means there's no foreign exchange coming in. As a result, everything is going up because everything is coming from outside. So I think it will be very, very important for the government to consider ways in which they can help the kwacha to recover. I know that there's a recovery policy program going on, and we can only hope and pray that even as there's a bid to recover the economy, it can also trickle down to the average Zambian, because at the end of the day, you discover that as things go up, it is actually the poor in society that are disadvantaged. You understand? If a woman was buying a box of tomato at say 50 kwacha, and now they're not able to buy that because it's gone extremely, it's become expensive to even just buy your sugar, your bread, and so we can only hope and pray that as the government plans the recovery program, we factor in things that will help resuscitate our kwacha. Because from what we are seeing here, our kwacha is depreciating every single day. Yes, and that's all we had pretty much on on the on the money market segment and economic update. We'll keep updating you about what's happening to our kwacha. We can only hope and pray that things would take a turn for the better, but also we have to factor in things like the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yes, the COVID-19
Yes.
it has also affected so many things in our country.
Yes, because like I said earlier, Zambia depends on exports quite a lot, and so everything that we buy comes from China, comes from every other place in the world, and so you find that there's been travel bans. People can't go to China anymore. People can't trade as they would. The trade has sort of slowed down to some extent. Businesses have closed, so you can only imagine the impact. If, for example, I'm a trader that buys my goods from China, for example, because of the dollar rate, I'm not able to buy as many things. That's all the profit. And also, if I was able to even just buy my goods from China, then it means that I have to hike my prices. But who's going to buy?
Who's going to buy?
So we can only hope and pray that things will take a turn for the better.
Yeah, because I wonder how people are even doing in business. Because most people, I think people are only focusing on maybe buying foodstuffs.
Yes.
Let's talk about those people who are selling clothes.
Yes.
Prices are hiking, so people are only focusing on eating.
Yes.
So
But then we also have our internal problem. We have the load shedding. Load shedding that affects the barber, the saloon person, the person that has a restaurant in the marketplace. So you see that there's no flow of cash, if I were just to say that, simply put. But we can only, like I said, let's just hope for things to take a better turn, and we'll keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah, we'll keep our fingers crossed, and then we'll see how things will go by. It's just sad that we always have to, we always have to keep ourselves, in as much as the kwacha is going up, we have to just be comfortable with it.
Yes, but then also we need to find sustainable things that can help boost our economy. Zambia is ripe with a lot of natural resources that can be processed for export. For example, we have our Zambia has about 40% of the water bodies in Africa.
Yeah.
So that means that essentially we can venture into aquaculture, we can build hydroelectric power plants for export, we can use that water for irrigation in agriculture. We have so many untapped sectors in the agriculture itself. We have the cashew nut plantation in Mongu, we have honey, organic honey, we've got pineapples in Munilunga. There's so many things that we can do as a country, if only we can take advantage of the natural resources that we have to be able to, just come out of it. Because I know that we can really come out of this situation if we focus our attention in the right direction.
Yes,
for example, agriculture, as you have rightly put it, people these days, everybody's thinking about food, because you can survive without buying clothes.
Yes, you can.
There's a lot of alternative to clothes. You can buy second-hand clothes.
Yes.
There's always, you can get tailor-made clothes, but for food is a necessity. You need food. And so we are in Zambia, we are rich, we have very good weather, and we've been blessed this time around with good rainfall. So we can take advantage of the water that we have generated through this rainy season, and probably harness that water and be able to use that for irrigation. We can use, there's so many, even in times of a drought, there's so many drought resistant crops that we can harvest. There's soybeans, there's the sunflower, there's cotton, all those things that we can grow at a large scale and be able to export to other countries. We've got, for example, the aquaculture sector. We've got fish, in our first of all natural, in our rivers, in our lakes, but also there's the onset of aquaculture. All of a sudden, people are now beginning to build fish ponds, and we can use that as a means to export to our nearest, our neighbors. We can export to the DRC, we can export to Angola, Mozambique, Malawi even. We have poultry. In Zambia, we have a lot of poultry farmers. There's a way that the government can work with other stakeholders in making sure that agriculture begins not only to feed the people of Zambia, but also we begin to look at what we can do in terms of exporting. Because I believe that every time that there's a crisis is an opportunity. Most of the time when there's a crisis, there's an opportunity.
Yes,
so in this regard, people want food. our neighbors need food, so what can we do? We just recently had mangoes. You know, we had plenty mangoes. But what happened? Those mangoes were just left to waste. If you go to Soweto market, you find heaps and heaps of mango. But why can't these people that grow mangoes begin to work with manufacturing companies, begin to process that mango, make juice out of that mango, make, you know, jam out of mango? There's so many things that you can do. So I think in terms of coming out of this economic crisis, there's hope, but then we need to take the right actions towards coming. Yes, we need to be very deliberate. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so that's all we had in this segment. We'll just take a short break. When we come back, we'll take a look at more on the Finest Television. Stay tuned.
Hello, good morning, and welcome back to the Daylight Breakfast Show here on KBN TV. My name is Rachel Mumba, and you know, I just want to bring to you some of the daily habits, you know, healthy morning daily habits that we need to be doing, you know, to just help us start our day. It's very, very important. You know, how you start your day determines how you're going to live the rest of the day. And so in this regard, very simple, something that is just at everyone's disposal. Very important. One of the very important daily healthy habits that we need to have is take water. Simply put,
it's very
drink water.
Drinking water in the morning is very painful.
I
you
know.
always feel that hunger. I don't know why I just can't
but
contain that.
and then this is why I'm just going to take us through why it is important. The benefits of drinking water first thing in the morning before you eat, before you can even go to the bathroom. The reason why there's some benefits of taking water. You know, when you take water, a lot of water helps you to flush out your waste from the body, and just a lot of things that we're going to be finding out. So I just want to just talk about how our body is formed. You know, our body has about 70% water. It's made up of water, and when we do not hydrate it well, it is inevitable that we will face health problems. So many times when you wake up and you have a headache, many times you wake up and you are feeling dizzy, there's a high likelihood that you don't take water. And so the fact is, if human beings stay for at least 3 to 5 days without drinking water, they could die. For 3 days straight, Sibongile, you don't drink water for 3 to 5 days straight, you don't take any water, there's a high likelihood that you could die. Because first of all, remember that our bodies are made up of 70% of water.
Yes, yeah.
So drinking water is very, very important, particularly first thing in the morning, and here's why. Water circulates nutrients. Drinking water transports all nutrients, oxygen, and other essential elements to the different cells of the body. So, you know, water acts as a transport system. After you've eaten and everything, water helps now to take down the nutrients to the necessary parts of the body. Drinking water in the morning allows you to set up a solid nutrient distribution. So because you are well hydrated, the nutrients that you're taking from the food are able to be distributed to the necessary parts of the body, to your liver, to your heart, to your kidney, and the essential organs of the body. This helps serve your body well in the course of the day. When you drink water first thing in the morning, you're energetic during the day. You're not grumpy. Sometimes you find someone is you know, sluggish, they are moody, they are
People that
grumpy.
say I'm not a morning person.
Yes.
They don't take water.
They don't take water. And then the second thing why drinking water is very important is that water helps to flush out waste. After hours of not eating anything, drinking water becomes even more important. If you have not eaten anything, it's actually even more important to drink water. Drinking water cleanses the colon, and this in turn helps the intestines to efficiently absorb nutrients. You know, the colon, the last part of our intestines. So when you, this is why even when you're going to the bathroom to pass your stool and whatever, you find that if you don't take so much water, you have problems. But if you do, if you take a lot of water, it's just easy for you, and as such, the colon is cleansed, and this in turn helps us to avoid diseases like the colon cancer. Yes, and then thirdly, it cleanses toxins. You know, our body takes in a lot of toxins, and so when we take a lot of water, it helps to flush out the toxins in our body. Drinking water in the morning is important for the health of your kidney as well, because remember that your kidney is the one that filters excess waste and excess fluid in your body. So if you take a lot of water, you help the kidney to filter. You know a filter, right? Like your, how can I say it? Your tea bag. I mean your tea strainer, for example. When there's a lot of tea there, when there's
you're using those tea leaves.
Yes, and then you find that if you don't clean out that filter, the tea piles up, right? And so even if you pour in liquid, you don't have a flow of liquid coming out because it's clogged. So that's typically what happens to your kidney. Your kidney gets clogged as a result of excess fluid and excess toxins in your body. So when you take in a lot of water, the water helps the kidney to filter that excess water and toxins, and in turn it helps prevent kidney failure. So most of the time you find that people get sick, they have kidney failure, it's because they do not take as much water as they should. And another reason why we must take water first thing in the morning is that water helps to improve your immunity. You know, our body has its own defense mechanism, okay, against diseases. The body has got its innate capacity to heal itself, to fight off diseases, you know, because of the cells that we have. But if we don't take a lot of water, which will help to cleanse your immune system, you end up weakening your immune system. Drinking water enhances the body's defense system to fight against infections. So when you have lots of water in your body, you help the body fight itself.
Something new.
Yes. Most people, if you can ask the people that don't that take in a lot of water, they hardly ever get sick. I used to have headaches back in the day. Like, you know, I would have migraine headaches. But the moment I started drinking lots of water, I at least I managed to take about 2 liters of water in a day. So when I do that, I've discovered I don't get, you know, morning tiredness. You're just coming out of bed, but you're already feeling tired. You are just getting out of bed and you already have this headache, you know, a pounding headache, and you're wondering what's happening. The likelihood is that you are dehydrated, and so you need to drink lots of water. And another reason why it is important for you to drink water is that it lubricates your joints. You know, the joints, your body, our bodies have
very
about
important.
very important.
I just thought it's just one of those that you have to take just after a meal.
No, absolutely not.
Because I'm one person who doesn't take a lot of water.
You have to. You have to. And so, you know, because our bodies have about 360 joints in our body, that's a lot. So when we sleep at night, our body gets into a state of prolonged dehydration. You know, when you're sleeping, essentially we're supposed to sleep for about 6 to 8 hours. So imagine when you're sleeping for that long, you're in a state, you are not moving, your body is just
at rest.
It's at rest. So that actually exposes, that makes the body to become dehydrated. And so when you wake up, and prolonged dehydration can reduce, and you know, prolonged dehydration can reduce the joint's shock absorbing ability, leading to joint pain. Because there's not so much water in your body, the joints are not lubricated. Remember, you're sleeping. So this is why when you oversleep, you wake up and you find that your body is extremely painful. The joints are painful. Your back is sore, your arms, your neck, your shoulders. Why? Because your body has been dehydrated for a long time, and so dehydration reduces the ability for joints to absorb shock. So as a result, you find that you're in pain. But if you are someone that drinks a lot of water, that can be prevented because your body is hydrated.
Yeah, that's the reason why maybe we feel sick.
Yes.
If you sleep
For a long time, you get sick.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other reason why you must drink water first thing in the morning is that it regulates your body temperature. Okay. Mm-hmm. So if you know the human body temperature is it has to be about 36 degrees when it's normal, but anything above 37 means that something is wrong. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you get a fever, not because you are sick or anything, but because you're just simply dehydrated. And then the reason why this is that water that is stored in the middle layers of the skin comes to the skin surface as sweat, When the body heats up, this evaporates, and then it cools the body. When you are sweating, after some point you feel like a little breeze.
Yes.
Why? Because that water that is in the body comes to the top, and you find that your temperature is even calm. You regulate, it just becomes normal. Scientists have suggested that when there is too little water in the body heat storage increases.
Okay.
So automatically you even say, I'm not feeling well, nadwala, temperature. And I think nimvela nina malaria. It's not malaria. It's simply dehydration. You need water. Yeah. So water is very, very, very important, and I just want to stress.
Most people don't know about, because it's new to me, and I've learned a lot from that.
So it's just simply water, and it prevents a lot of things. It prevents your joint pains, it prevents your headaches, your blood pressure, and things like that. And also the other thing is that drinking water improves your skin.
Oh yeah.
Simply put, water, as I earlier alluded to, helps us to remove toxins from the blood. This, in the process, helps to keep the skin healthy. So if you have toxins in the body, sometimes they have no escape route. So those toxins begin to show up on your skin as rash, as pimples, and as wrinkles, things like that.
Even wrinkles?
Yes. If you are dehydrated, you wrinkle fast.
Okay.
Yes.
That's new.
Yes. So you need to hydrate. You need to drink your water and I know water is tasteless.
It is very tasteless.
It has no taste. So
water is just not nice when you're hungry.
No, water is tasteless. So everything that is tasteless is not appealing to you. So you might want to spice up your water. Sometimes add a little lemon to it. Sometimes add a little cucumber to it. Sometimes add maybe a teaspoon of honey just for the flavor. Sometimes add your orange in there. But just make sure that it is water.
Yeah, and I hear cucumber and lemon are a detox.
Yes.
Okay, maybe just to detox some things.
No, but then water in itself, without having to add these things, is already a form of detox. So you might want to consider taking a lot of water, and even as the temperatures increase. Now, because it's a bit cold and things, and we're getting into winter, but especially around October when it gets extremely hot, that is when you find people even fainting. Even you find a lot of people having high blood pressure. Yes. Why? Because there's no water in the body. Just water. Don't think about the processed water that you get from the shops. Just the water that runs from your tap at home. Yeah, and then the other reason why you should drink your water every day in the morning is that it maintains blood pressure, like I've said. Blood pressure is the force that circulates blood through your body. So it maintains the blood pressure. Can you imagine a situation where your blood is not able to flow at its desired pace? Then it means that everything is slowed down, right? And so when you drink lots of water, there's that maintenance. It's not too much pressure, which in turn causes it to become high blood pressure, but it's just normal regulated pressure. And then it distributes white blood cells and antibodies for immunities and hormones such as insulin.
I haven't heard that in a long
time. Insulin, yeah. You only hear insulin when someone has diabetes. But do you know that the body actually produces its own insulin through the pancreas? Yeah. So I'm sounding.
Did you know?
I'm sounding like I'm a scientist.
Yes.
I guess it's because of healthy living, right? Yeah. So it's very, very important that we take our water. Water is very important. I know we stress about having your breakfast. We stress about, and then we're going to be talking about that in the future. Why it is important to have your breakfast daily, because on this segment, your daily healthy habits, it's very important to know the things that you should do to kickstart your day, because as we said earlier when we starting the segment, how you begin your day will pretty much determine how you end it. Because if you start your day on a low note, best believe it, that is how your day might just be. So you have to be deliberate, and also this thing, you have to be deliberate, very deliberate, because it's one thing to know something and quite another to put it into practice. We know all these things, but sometimes I don't even drink my water. You get. So now it's very, very important. And then the other reason why we should drink water, drinking water in the morning provides enough circulation and improves blood flow, like I said. Last but not least, drinking water in the morning helps with weight loss.
For those that want to lose
For those
some
of us
weight.
that want to lose weight, and this is because if you drink more water, it helps your metabolism, right? And secondly, when you drink water, it will help to lose weight by suppressing your appetite. Drinking a glass of water before you eat will make you to not eat as much. Have you ever?
Oh yeah,
yes.
it's true. It's
Even
true.
when we're children, they'll tell us, don't drink your water before you eat your food, because when you drink your water, you get filled up.
Yeah.
So, as a way of losing weight, you can deliberately take a glass of water to suppress your appetite. And also because you are filled up, you will not eat as much food. You only eat a little bit, and in turn, that will help you to lose weight. Yes. Right, and also this will also reduce your cravings and hunger. Drinking water reduces cravings. I know people have strange cravings, and mostly
this is very interesting, because you know how cravings are very painful.
Yes, and then cravings, you crave for the things that are actually very detrimental to the body.
Yes,
you crave for. I crave for. I'm not a sweet tooth, but when I do have cravings, I crave for things like donuts. I crave for cake, for chocolate, and I rarely eat those things. If I crave for chocolate, I want chocolate like somebody who's looking for a fix. You know what I mean? But now, because if you take in a lot of water, you find that you don't crave as much, and so you will lose weight.
Yes. Okay, and that's all we had for you in this segment. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll take a look at more on the Finest Television. Stay tuned. Good morning and welcome back to the Morning Daylight Breakfast Show. If you're just joining us, well, you've missed a lot. You have missed a lot. We do have our Morning Daylight Breakfast Show from 7 to 9 hours. So you have missed quite a lot. Now remember, today is Woman Crush Wednesday. We will be looking at that one woman who inspires us a lot, that one woman we look up to, that one woman we would want to be like when we grow up, that one woman who inspires a lot of people, a lot of young women, that one woman who wants to drive us through our, who would put us on the map as a country, Zambia. Now, right about now, I am joined by the beautiful Geneva Zulu. But before we go into the introduction, wow, this is how they do not want me to be. But it's okay, it's okay, it's okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm very excited to have you here.
Oh, thank you. I'm always excited to be here.
Because, you know, Geneva always reviews to us that one woman who inspires us. That Wonder Woman. Like
yeah. So today's Wonder Woman, there was a really disturbing story that was going on about her.
Okay.
And then I decided to say, okay, let's put her as a Wonder Woman. Because not only is she powerful or strong enough to walk away from something toxic, but also is strong enough to run her own business. Can you guess who it is?
I think so. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yes, that's the one. The Z farmer. The Z farmer, Maria Zalumis Mwelwa. I don't know which one is her husband's last name.
Maybe, well, I don't know. I have no idea.
Yes. So today's Wonder Woman is no other than Maria. She's the Z farmer. So recently she just got out of a very toxic marriage. It was very abusive. So people were commending her and saying, well done. You walked away.
Yes, I'm proud of Zambians.
Because you know how mostly in Zambia, when you walk away from your marriage, whether he beats you or he's doing what they say, you know, you're breaking your marriage, you shipikisha and stuff. But she was brave enough to walk away. Most people don't walk away. They just say, no, he loves me. That's why I'm still here. He beats me because he loves me. So she walked away from a toxic relationship, and I'm so happy for her. She's strong, so that's why she deserves to be a Wonder Woman. And also she is Tuzini Farms founder. She's the CEO of Tuzini Farms. So you know how most people think farming is just for men, like men are the only ones that can get their hands dirty, but guess what? She gets her hands dirty and she makes millions of dollars from it. We really need some tips. I think next time we need to invite her. She makes millions of dollars. So she's no longer a wife. She's just a mother. So I would not say she's a wife. So she's a mother and she's a tomato guru. Apparently she knows everything about tomatoes. You know, tomato is really hard to grow.
Yeah, it's really
Don't
hard.
put too much water. Don't put little water. It's so difficult. And also she has a bachelor degree in nursing from Australia Catholic University. Yeah. And also she has a master's degree in science and cardiology. She's got degrees.
I know, right? Cardiology.
She's got degrees.
Cardiac arrest kind of thing.
Yeah, something like that. And also she's pursuing another degree in agronomy. I don't know if I said that right.
Agronomy.
I have no idea. However, she has created 62 job opportunities with her business alone.
Really?
Can you imagine?
That's really nice. That's really nice. I hope majority of them are women.
Yes, like God of Maria should look at
I
that.
know what you mean.
From farming alone, she was
Yes,
creating 62 job opportunities for local youths. And just on Friday we were celebrating Youth Day, here is a woman that brings youth empowerment. You don't even need like a lot of money. Just buy tomato seeds like this and a small piece of land. Before you know it, you have a big business, and I commend her for that. So first of all, nursing was her first job at the age of 18 in Australia, where she worked for 12 years. And then after she saved up, she used it to start up a farming business. How many people would think of, oh, when I save up, I'm going to do something?
And a woman on top of that.
And a woman, and she's killing it. She's making millions of dollars, people. Millions of dollars. So that's why Maria deserves to be our Wonder Woman. Because not only is she empowering women, but she's standing up for herself and mental health and abusive marriages.
It's true. I hope that's also an example to people who are going through, women who are going through the same situation as her.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's all we had on our Woman Crusher Wednesday segment. We'll take a short break. When we come back, stay tuned for more on the Finest Television. Good morning and welcome back to the Morning Daylight Breakfast Show. So right about now we will be taking a look at our entertainment segment where we'll be getting some updates on what's going on in our entertainment industry and who's making the headlines. Who's making the headlines? So you know how Geneva always has this information for us. She's the plug.
Why are you making it seem like I'm the 411? Like, hello, what's happening?
I mean, you do. Rumor has it. So she's always up to date. Always our very own Mulomo. She's always up to date. Always up to date. And also do make a date to be with her every Monday at 16 hours if rumor has it.
You know how we do.
Okay, so give us a little something.
Okay, a little some on the international side. America had their own Grammy Awards.
Okay.
So for viewers out there that don't know what Grammy Awards are, Grammy Awards is a recording thing. It's what is the word? The word is gone. I don't want to say company. It's a recording thing that gives like awards to people on their like music and achievement in the music industry. Yes.
Okay.
So a lot of people won. A lot of amazing artists like won a Grammy, from Beyonce to what's her name? What's this girl's name? That one, Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah, I think I saw that. I'm like, Megan.
I know, she won, and she was so nervous. I remember when I was watching, like, when she won the Savage remix, when she did with Beyonce. So she was giving a speech, and then Beyonce just kept looking at her. She was so overwhelmed. She couldn't even talk. She's like, I just want to say thank you. So, the general field was Record of the Year. So the person that won Record of the Year was Billie Eilish. Do you know Billie Eilish?
The name?
The girl with the crazy hair, nice eyes, dresses in baggy clothes, but has an amazing voice.
I think I've heard of her name from you. I don't know, because you always ask me, do you know this? Do you know this?
Yeah, so Billie Eilish. So amongst the nominees were Doja Cat. You know Doja Cat, right? I really hate doing this with you because you always say I don't know who that is. So there's so amongst them were Doja Cat, Dua Lipa, Post Malone. At least you're not Post Malone.
Yes.
Megan Thee Stallion featuring Beyonce, Savage. So the one, even Rockstar, the baby, his song was part of the nominees for Record of the Year. So the one that won this was Billie Eilish. She's an amazing artist.
But I know the name.
I should make you listen to her. She's amazing. She's amazing. She's amazing. But she always covers her body in baggy clothes because people body shape her. I remember there's this one time a picture leaked where she was just wearing a top, like a tank top. People trashed her because of her arms. No, she's fat. She's what? Can you imagine? And she wasn't even
fat.
fat.
Always have something to talk about.
It was so sad. And then also, album of the year went to Taylor Swift Her album is amazing. I like this one song. She's come back. At least she's over that revenge thing with Kanye West.
Yes.
And then also, there was this other category called Song of the Year. So the one that got Song of the Year was Her. You know Her?
Yes.
She's an amazing artist. She's beautiful. And then also Best New Artist went to Megan Thee Stallion. Of course, she's Best New Artist. Like, she just came with a banger. And then also
she's not playing.
Yeah, and then also Best Pop Solo Performance went to Harry Styles. You know Harry Styles, right?
The name.
From One Direction.
Yes. How do I even forget
so
that
he
one?
won with his song Watermelon Sugar. Have you heard it?
No.
Watermelon Sugar. Oh my God. Siwo, you're killing me. So yeah, what else do we have? We had Best Pop Performance by Lady Gaga with Ariana Grande. I really don't like that song. I don't know how they won. But also Blue Ivy won a Grammy.
What does she do?
I know, that's exactly. I was like, what does she do? Why has she won a Grammy? Apparently she won a Grammy for that song, Brown Skin Girl. You know, at the beginning of the song, she was the one that was singing, right? Just because of that cover part, she won a Grammy.
Just that?
Yes, that cover part. She won a Grammy. But Beyonce also won like multiple Grammys, and she also I think she won a Grammy for winning a lot of Grammys, something like that. So she was the artist that has won like the most Grammys ever. Yeah. So that's all I have for you.
Okay. Unfortunately, we're running out of
time.
Yeah. Your last words to the viewers before we sign out.
Remember to eat breakfast on behalf of KBN.
Okay, that's a nice one. Okay, thank you so much for tuning into the Finest Television. For the people that came through our Facebook page and also our Loyal Topstar viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. Catch us tomorrow, same time, same place. Stay tuned.
Good morning.